Welcome to another Founder Wisdom Pod with Paul Culvenor. He's co-founder at Hevi in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. He's former CFO, or still is. We're going to discuss that today. Worked at a bunch of interesting companies, mostly in the mining sector. So interested to discuss about that with Paul today, as Australia is big on mining. So is Canada, so is Chile, but I don't know much about that market. So we're going to explore that today. This pod is presented to you by podpire.com. That's my podcasting company. If you want to start your own pod, scale it, monetize it, go to podpire.com. Paul, welcome to the podcast. Tell me a bit more about yourself and Hevi.
Yeah, thanks, Charles. Paul Culvenor from Brisbane, Australia, as you said. Mining engineer is my background. I spent most of my career within the commercial and contract management space within contract mining within Australia. Australia is a very mining-rich country. We have a lot of mining that's done through contractors, which is essentially where mining companies employ companies to buy the equipment, employ the people, and carry out the works for them. All of that work is managed through contracts. Most of those are sort of relationship based initially. Everything's going well. There's no issues. But then as soon as you have something happen on site, the contract is sort of the rule book to how things are done and how you get paid. So in my experience over the last sort of decade of working in and around the industry, there's been a lot of issues that have happened on site. And we started Hevi a couple of years ago to sort of solve that problem of contract administration within heavy industry, so mining, construction, and infrastructure, because we know that there's better ways that contract administration can be done. So Hevi is an AI-powered software platform to help administer project contracts, make sure people understand the contract, make sure people aren't missing any deadlines or time bars within the contract, and then they're getting paid what they're contractually obligated to get paid, and that the client is getting the service and the product that they should be getting through the contract as well.
Right. So how did you get into foundership? Why did you decide to launch your own company?
Yeah, so Brad Gingell, who's my co-founder at Hevi, we went to uni together. We're both mining engineers. Best mates from uni, lived together, drank a lot of beer together back in the day. He went down sort of the more tech path, and he spent a lot of time in the States working in the drill and blast. And he co-founded another AI mining company called Stratus in the States a couple of years ago. And he's grown that with Ravi, the other founder at Stratus, to be quite a good AI drone enabled company in America. He is Australian, and so came back to Australia a couple of years ago. We always wanted to start something together, so we teamed up a couple of years ago. Him as the sort of the tech and the AI tech background, me as sort of the problem space SME of what the problem we were trying to solve. So we decided to start Hevi and tackle this problem.
Why in that specific niche of contracts? Like, is there a lot of problems with mining contracts? Why did you decided that specific problem?
Yeah, so mining within Australia and just globally is $1 billion and probably $1 trillion industry, and then even construction infrastructure is trillions of dollars of industry as well, and all of that is managed through contracts. And there have been some large sort of construction dispute reports which sort of say that there's billions of dollars that are tied up in construction and infrastructure and mining disputes. So our thesis is, and as I saw it personally play out, is that projects that have, say, hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue, there can be contractual issues in the tens of millions of dollars. So sort of 5 to 10% of project value can be at risk due to contract management. So if we can capture a portion of that sort of 5 to 10% of trillions of dollars per year, and add value to our clients through our software, then hopefully our thesis is that we think that's a pretty reasonable crack, and let's have a go.
And the contracts are between whom? The company that mines the soil, the company that owns the soil. What kind of contracts? Can you give us examples?
Yeah, so mining company, so it's like biggest ones sort of around the world are Newmont and Barrick, which are large gold mining companies, and then like BHP and Rio Tinto, which are probably two of the biggest Australian companies, which are global miners as well. They will own the dirt, they own the ground, they own the mining licenses, own the mining leases. Quite often they can own or operate the mine themselves, so they employ the people, they buy the gear, they hire the gear, they carry out the works. But yeah, they can also employ contract service providers, which are companies that engage in contracts that employ the people, hire or buy the gear, and go and do the mining for them. So you'll get, so here's a 4-year contract. We need to deliver X amount of tons, X amount of drill meters, X amount of blasting volumes, etc., etc. The contractor has to go and deliver them. They get paid on performance. They get penalized on lack of performance. There's KPIs around that, and that's all administered through a contract.
Right. Then how do you make money? What's the deal if I decide to pay you for my own contracts and understand them with AI?
Yeah, so we've built a couple of pretty cool features with Hevi. First off, we have a chat bot, which is essentially a chat with your contracts, chat with your technical specifications. So we take your contract, upload it, pre-process on our end, and make it all AI enabled and AI searchable and able to chat with. And so guys out in the field, they're getting a site instruction from a client representative saying, hey, we want you to go here and do this instead of what you're currently doing. The person managing the project can say, hey, is this a variation? They can chat with Hevi and just understand what are their contractual rights and obligations under the contract to make sure they're not doing something that they are not getting paid for, or making sure that they're following processes to making sure they are getting paid for it. So yeah, it can be a lot of there are a lot of fires that need to be put out on the job, and a lot of management that happens on a day-to-day basis. So giving someone the tool to quickly, instead of like contracts can be 300-500-page documents that sit in a desk drawer or sit on a as a PDF on a shared drive somewhere. Guys in the field have a tool that they can chat with Hevi that understand their rights and their obligations under the contract. We then also have an AI sort of site diary and AI email monitor that sort of acts as a contract administrator in the background. So Hevi can just run on your feed of site diary information. You can CC Hevi into any of your email or client correspondence that you have. It'll scan through all that, check that against the contract, and then highlight any issues that may have come up during that, and give you an AI review in terms of a risk rating to say, okay, this is a high risk here, there's medium risk here, there's low risk here, nothing to see here. Just to sort of act as that sort of contract administrator in your back pocket, to sort of make sure that you're getting paid what you owed and you're not missing anything.
And what's the pricing of that? What are the economics?
Yeah, so we think we're capturing a lot of value, or we are capturing a lot of value. We do have a number of clients, both within Australia, within America, South America, Asia, and Europe already at the moment. And we think we're pretty competitively priced based on the value that we're capturing for our clients. So it's a flat fee of $50,000 per month for our enterprise clients. They're managing contracts that are in the tens, hundreds of millions of dollars. So it's a small fraction of the value that they're capturing. And then in terms of like, we're also improving the productivity and potentially replacing the need for individuals in that sort of contract administration, contract management space on site as well. Which a lot of clients will put people, or a lot of contractors will put people on site to sort of help manage it, or have people in the back office managing a couple of projects. Instead of having 2 or 3 people in an organization managing that, you can have one using Hevi as your sort of AI superpower in the background, which cuts down your costs. So we pay for ourselves pretty quickly.
Right. And at 50K a month, why wouldn't they hire a lawyer or an army of lawyers to do that?
They already do, and it's not efficient.
So
Yeah, so
do you mean that they cost way more than 50K or?
no, they're around that mark, but it's lawyers are very good at being lawyer and legal. Miners and construction professionals are very sort of operational and a lot more hands-on. In my background and our experience is sort of bridging that gap in terms of being commercially astute, contractually astute, but also understanding the operational sort of intricacies and the ins and outs of what, like, you need to sort of put at play. So we try and fit in that middle space. We're not trying to replace lawyers. We're not trying to replace all of the people within an industry, within an organization. We're trying to give people sort of that AI sort of enhancement to their workflows, to their operations. Because as you say, like there's a bunch of lawyers that are already at play. You can spend this money on lawyers. What we see is what happens is that it's people miss stuff when they're doing it at the coalface. So adding lawyers or adding other people in the back office assisting this process doesn't help people that are doing the job, doing the work on the ground, highlighting issues that can turn into contractual events at the end of the day.
Right. Okay. So yeah, lawyers are to buy the book and you just chat with this AI that gives you sensible advice. You don't depend necessarily on the AI, but it's just one of many nodes to take an end decision.
Yeah, 100%. Like we have those conversations with our clients as well. Like we're not trying to give you advice that, hey, this is 100% what you should do. What we say is that it just replaces an individual reading through a contract or looking up any information in their contract and then making their own decision on that. It's sort of an assistant to that, that streamlines that process to pretty much instant. So instead of picking up a contract, reading a couple of clauses and then making a decision saying, okay, I understand that roughly enough, I'm going to go and do this. You can ask a question, instantly get an answer back that's probably got a little bit more nuance to your own sort of analysis. And then you're more than likely making a better decision based on that information.
Right. And how many clients are currently paying 50K right now?
We are working through a number of pilots and trial programs with large mining and contracting companies across the world. We don't have anyone quite at that enterprise level yet, but pilot programs are around the 5K per project per month. And we do have, I think, about 20 companies that are currently going through that sort of trial process at the moment.
That's pretty cool. How do you get in touch with these companies?
Most of it's been sort of our network, where we've been in and around industry our whole careers. So we have large and broad networks that we have or existing. And then it's a very small industry within Australia, so everyone knows each other. We have had quite a few sort of word of mouth referrals. We've done a fair bit of sort of what you offer in terms of the cold email outreach. Like we've done a bit of cold email outreach ourselves, which has proven pretty fruitful. And then we also have just genuine inbound interest from Google SEO and LinkedIn and whatnot. We do a fair bit of organic content. And it's been surprising how leads have come in. We actually had one the other day that said he was having a chat with a Bard, the Google AI, around what tools that are out there for contract administration in the sort of construction space, and it recommended Hevi, which we thought was pretty cool. So yeah.
Are you talking about Gemini or Bard?
Yeah. Well, this is probably 5 or 6 months ago, so it would have been Bard at the time, but yeah, Gemini now, yeah.
Yeah, because Bard was pretty goddamn bad. But Gemini is pretty impressive. It's more impressive than ChatGPT. So it officially has dethroned GPT as the most impressive consumer tool that is, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your, I mean, you run on Microsoft Azure, right? So sort of a variation of the ChatGPT algorithm. Any plans to change that, or will you scale on that?
Yeah, so we're currently using GPT-4 as our back-end LLM. We had GPT-4 Turbo is the current sort of API connection, which has pretty large token limits, which enables us to process a hell of a lot of context within our chats. But as you say, like the space is changing so rapidly, we haven't tied ourselves to anything. We're constantly looking at what's out there, what's evolving. Obviously, Google has Gemini, there's Claude that's out there, there's other open source like Llama models that are potentially going to supersede everyone as well. So we're LLM agnostic. We've built a robust, like we're ISO 27001 and SOC 2 compliant in terms of our web-based application already. So we know what we're dealing with in terms of sensitive documents for large enterprises. But in terms of the actual AI engines that we have in our backend, it's all just API driven, so we can plug and play if there is bigger and better stuff. And we're constantly building and testing out there. And as you say, Gemini looks pretty cool, and looks like it maybe we leapfrog into the lead at the moment.
What are your plans for this year? What are your top 3 priorities?
Yeah, so we're hitting up America in a bit of a big way in a couple of weeks. There's a big mining conference in Phoenix coming up at the end of February. Brad and I will both be there, and we're hoping to sort of use that as our bit of a launch pad. As I said, we do have a couple of clients already in the US that are trialing us, so we're hoping to use that as a bit of a launch pad, get a bit of a gauge on the US market and how it differs to the Australian market. We do have a wide range sort of already within heavy industry. We've got mining clients, mining contractors on board. We've got construction companies on board. We've got a couple of local government agencies and government departments that are using us. And then we also have sort of infrastructure clients and vertical builders as well. So we're hoping to gauge sort of what that market's like within America. We've got the experience from Australia. Brad has spent a fair chunk of time in America building tech mining companies previously. So yeah, we're just really sort of testing the waters there, hoping to grow, and then hoping to grow globally. Where we've got a large TAM within Australia. We could be happy sort of with a sustainable business operating within Australia and mining our own backyard, but we do have aspirations to go global and sort of be that. We think that there's a space for this industry or this category within the industry. We like to say that there's a fit for purpose system for everything on large projects, like a safety system to manage your safety performance. There's an operational management system to manage your operational performance. There's a plant management system to manage your heavy equipment in your plant. There's not yet a fit for purpose system for contract administration. So we're trying to be that sort of 0 to 1. We are this system of this category creator of fit for purpose contract administration within heavy industry.
Where can people find out more about you, Paul?
Yeah, so you can jump on over to our website, which is just hevi.app. So hevi.app is us. Hit me up on LinkedIn or email as well. So yeah, my details are pretty good. So give me a Google, Paul Culvenor. Find me on LinkedIn. Let me know. We run through pretty quick sort of 15-minute demos. We like to provide value pretty quickly. We don't want to provide software tours. We've got a pretty robust software platform. We don't want to spend an hour running you through it. We just want to know, hey, we know the problem space that you guys have. We can run you through. We can share our solution that can tackle that problem for you straight away. Let us know and we can run you through it.